Hello, everyone. Welcome to our channel. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of human behavior. From talking loudly on the phone to excessive complaining or negativity, people have some pretty unlikable habits in their daily lives. Let's explore the top 10 unlikable habits that many of us dislike the most. Are you tired of walking into the kitchen only to be greeted by a pile of dirty dishes in the sink? You're not alone. In today's video, we're diving into the mystery of why people leave dirty dishes in the sink. First up, the busy bee syndrome. In today's fast-paced world, we're constantly juggling multiple responsibilities and tasks. With work, family, and social commitments demanding our attention, sometimes washing dishes falls to the bottom of the to-do list. Next, let's talk about the cleanliness conundrum. Everyone has different standards of cleanliness, and what may seem acceptable to one person could be a major pet peeve for another. This difference in perception can lead to conflicts over who should be responsible for washing dishes. Sometimes, it's simply a matter of forgetting to wash the dishes. With our minds preoccupied with a million other things, it's easy for this chore to slip our minds. Lastly, the dish duty debate. There's often a divide when it comes to dividing household chores, and washing dishes is no exception. Stereotypes and expectations about who should be responsible can lead to tension and resentment. Do you find yourself constantly waiting for someone who's always running late? In today's video, we're diving into the world of chronic lateness and exploring why some people just can't seem to be on time. First up, the overestimation of time. Some individuals have a tendency to underestimate how long tasks will take, leading them to believe they have more time than they actually do. Then there's the optimism bias. Ever heard someone say, "I'll be there in 5 minutes," only to show up half an hour later? This tendency to be overly optimistic about how quickly things can be accomplished can contribute to chronic lateness. Next, let's talk about lack of time management skills. For some people, organizing their time effectively can be a challenge, resulting in a constant struggle to be on time. The distraction dilemma. In today's hyper-connected world, distractions abound, from endless notifications on our phones to the lure of social media. These distractions can easily derail even the best-laid plans. Lastly, the perceived consequences. For some individuals, the consequences of being late may not seem severe enough to warrant changing their behavior. Whether it's a lack of accountability or a disregard for others' time, this mindset can perpetuate chronic lateness. Have you ever been in the middle of saying something only to be interrupted by someone else? In today's video, we're diving into the frustrating habit of constantly interrupting others and exploring why it happens. First up, the eagerness to share. Some people are bursting with ideas or thoughts and can't wait for their turn to speak, leading them to interrupt others mid-sentence. Then there's the lack of listening skills. Active listening is a crucial component of effective communication, but for some individuals, it's a skill that needs honing. Next, let's talk about impatience or restlessness. In today's fast-paced world, patience can be in short supply. Constant interruptions may stem from a desire to keep conversations moving at a brisk pace. The overexcitement or enthusiasm. Sometimes, a topic is so engaging or exciting that individuals can't help but jump in with their thoughts, even if it means cutting someone else off. Lastly, the lack of awareness or social graces. Some people may simply be unaware of the impact their interruptions have on others or lack the social skills to navigate conversations gracefully. In conclusion, constantly interrupting others can hinder effective communication and lead to frustration for all parties involved. By understanding the reasons behind this habit, we can work towards fostering more respectful and engaging conversations. We've all been there, trying to focus on work, enjoy a meal at a restaurant, or simply relax in a public space, only to be bombarded by someone talking loudly on their phone. But why do some individuals feel the need to project their conversations for all to hear? Let's uncover some possible reasons. First up, the lack of awareness. Some people may be so engrossed in their phone conversation that they fail to realize how loudly they're speaking or the impact it's having on those around them. Then there's the disregard for others' privacy. Phone conversations often contain personal or sensitive information, and speaking loudly in public can inadvertently violate others' privacy. Next, let's talk about the desire for attention or validation. Speaking loudly on the phone may be a way for some individuals to seek attention or validation from those around them. The environmental factors. Noisy surroundings, such as crowded streets or bustling cafes, can make it difficult to hear on the phone, prompting individuals to raise their voices to compensate. Lastly, the cultural norms or habits. In some cultures or social circles, speaking loudly on the phone may be considered the norm or even a sign of enthusiasm or assertiveness. In conclusion, talking loudly on the phone in public can disrupt others' peace and privacy. By understanding the reasons behind this habit, we can work towards fostering more considerate communication in our communities. Picture this: you're standing in line at the grocery store, minding your own business, when suddenly, someone stands uncomfortably close behind you. In today's video, we're tackling the awkward and often unwelcome habit of invading personal space, and why it's such a social faux pas. First up, cultural differences. What's considered an appropriate distance between individuals varies widely across cultures, and what may be seen as invasive in one culture could be perfectly normal in another. Then there's the lack of social awareness. Some people may simply be unaware of the concept of personal space or oblivious to the discomfort they're causing others. Next, let's talk about crowded environments. In densely populated areas or crowded spaces, such as public transportation or concerts, personal space can become a precious commodity, and individuals may inadvertently encroach on others' space out of necessity. The intentional aggression or dominance. In some cases, invading personal space may be a deliberate display of aggression or dominance, intended to intimidate or assert control over others. Lastly, the social norms or expectations. In certain social situations or contexts, such as networking events or crowded parties, the boundaries of personal space may become more fluid, and individuals may feel pressure to adapt to the norms of the environment. In conclusion, respecting personal space is an important aspect of social etiquette and can contribute to positive interactions and relationships. By understanding the reasons behind this habit, we can work towards fostering a culture of respect and consideration for one another's boundaries. Nail biting and fidgeting are repetitive behaviors that many people engage in without even realizing it. Whether it's tapping your foot, twirling your hair, or picking at your nails, these habits can provide temporary relief from stress or anxiety. But why do some individuals turn to nail biting and fidgeting as coping mechanisms? Let's uncover some possible reasons. First up, stress and anxiety relief. Nail biting and fidgeting can serve as outlets for pent-up tension or nervous energy, providing a sense of comfort or distraction during moments of stress. Then there's the habitual behavior. For some individuals, nail biting and fidgeting may become ingrained habits that are difficult to break, even when the underlying cause of stress or anxiety has subsided. Next, let's talk about lack of awareness. Many people engage in nail biting or fidgeting without even realizing it, especially when they're absorbed in thought or concentration. The seeking stimulation. Nail biting and fidgeting can provide sensory stimulation, such as tactile or oral sensations, that temporarily alleviate boredom or restlessness. Lastly, the coping mechanism. For some individuals, nail biting and fidgeting may serve as coping mechanisms for dealing with difficult emotions or situations, providing a sense of control or comfort in times of distress. Picture this: you're having a conversation with a friend or family member, only to notice that they're more focused on their phone than on you. In today's video, we're diving into the phenomenon of using electronic devices during social interactions and why it can be a major etiquette faux pas. First up, the fear of missing out, FOMO. With social media constantly bombarding us with updates and notifications, some individuals may feel compelled to stay connected at all times, even at the expense of face-to-face interactions. Then there's the digital addiction. For some people, the allure of their smartphones or other electronic devices can be irresistible, leading to compulsive checking behavior even in social settings. Next, let's talk about social anxiety or discomfort. Using electronic devices may serve as a coping mechanism for individuals who feel awkward or anxious in social situations, providing a distraction from discomfort. The habitual behavior. Checking our phones or using electronic devices has become such a deeply ingrained habit for many of us that we do it almost reflexively, without even realizing it. Lastly, the lack of engagement or interest. In some cases, using electronic devices during social interactions may signal a lack of interest or engagement in the conversation or the people present. In conclusion, using electronic devices during social interactions can disrupt communication and detract from the quality of our relationships. By understanding the reasons behind this behavior, we can work towards fostering more meaningful and attentive interactions in our digital age. Sneezing and coughing are natural bodily functions, but they can also be a means of spreading germs and illness if not done properly. But why do some individuals neglect to cover their mouth when sneezing or coughing? Let's uncover some possible reasons. First up, lack of awareness. Some people may simply not realize the importance of covering their mouth when sneezing or coughing, or they may underestimate the potential spread of germs. Then there's forgetfulness or absent-mindedness. In the hustle and bustle of daily life, it's easy to forget to take basic hygiene precautions, especially when we're focused on other tasks or thoughts. Next, let's talk about discomfort or inconvenience. Covering your mouth when sneezing or coughing may feel uncomfortable or awkward for some individuals, leading them to skip this important step. The cultural norms or habits. In some cultures or social circles, covering your mouth when sneezing or coughing may not be as emphasized or practiced, leading to a lack of awareness or adherence to this hygiene practice. Lastly, the lack of consideration for others. Some individuals may simply not prioritize the health and well-being of those around them, leading them to disregard basic hygiene practices like covering their mouth when sneezing or coughing. In conclusion, covering your mouth when sneezing or coughing is a simple yet effective way to prevent the spread of germs and illness. By understanding the reasons behind this behavior, we can work towards fostering a culture of hygiene and consideration for others. Do you know someone who always seems to have a cloud of negativity hanging over their head? In today's video, we're delving into the habit of excessive complaining or negativity and exploring why it can be such a downer in social interactions. First up, venting stress or frustration. Complaining can be a way for individuals to release pent-up emotions and cope with stress or frustration in their lives. Then there's seeking validation or sympathy. Some people may use complaining as a way to seek validation or sympathy from others, craving attention or reassurance. Next, let's talk about habitual pessimism. For some individuals, negativity may become a habitual way of viewing the world, leading them to focus on the negative aspects of situations rather than the positive. The lack of problem-solving skills. Instead of actively seeking solutions to their problems, some individuals may resort to complaining as a passive way of dealing with challenges. Lastly, the environmental influences. The people we surround ourselves with and the media we consume can have a significant impact on our mindset and behavior, influencing us to adopt negative attitudes or patterns of complaining. In conclusion, excessive complaining or negativity can dampen the mood and energy of social interactions. By understanding the reasons behind this behavior, we can work towards fostering a more positive and uplifting environment for ourselves and those around us. We've all been there, sitting down to enjoy a meal with someone, only to be greeted by the sight and sound of them chewing with their mouth wide open. In today's video, we're tackling the cringe-worthy habit of chewing with mouth open and why it's considered a major dining etiquette faux pas. First up, lack of awareness. Some people may simply not realize that chewing with their mouth open is considered impolite or unappetizing to others. Then there's the habitual behavior. Chewing with mouth open may be a deeply ingrained habit for some individuals, developed over years of unconsciously eating in this manner. Next, let's talk about medical or dental issues. In some cases, individuals may have underlying medical or dental conditions that make it difficult for them to chew with their mouths closed. The cultural norms. In certain cultures or social circles, chewing with mouth open may be more accepted or even encouraged, leading to a lack of awareness or adherence to dining etiquette. Lastly, the lack of consideration for others. Some individuals may simply prioritize their own comfort or convenience over the comfort of those around them, disregarding basic dining etiquette in the process. In conclusion, chewing with mouth open can detract from the enjoyment of a meal and disrupt the dining experience for others. By understanding the reasons behind this behavior, we can work towards fostering a culture of mindful and considerate eating habits. Thanks for being awesome, and don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. See you in the next video.